Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you just watched my new intro. Later on, you'll see my new outro. But right now, you're seeing my review for Owari no Seraph, aka Seraph of the End, Chapter 6. Now, this one, it had the cover for the English Weekly Shonen Jump this week, and we see this lead color page. And in that color page, they actually spoil some things. They spoil what everyone's weapons, what their cursed gears are going to be. It's the Yu, Kimizuki, and Yoichi. And they also show us some new characters that we haven't been introduced to yet. So some future characters, specifically people who are already in Moon Demon Company. They're in the center with Guren, and it's my thumbnail, so you can just check that. But once the chapter actually gets started, we see that Yu has failed a spellcasting test. Actually did more than fail. He actually got a 0, which is incredibly difficult to do. I don't think I could get a 0 on a test no matter how hard I tried. So I'd have to literally just leave everything blank. That's the only way I could. But he somehow found a way to get a 0 on a test. And Kimizuki aced all his 100s all around. And the two of them start arguing, of course. And Sayuri's trying to tell him, hey, you guys realize we're still in class, right? But Guren ends up coming in. And she tells Guren that she believes that Yu and Kimizuki are ready to get cursed gears. And she also mentions that Yoichi has a stabler heart than the two of them. And Guren decides, you know what, rather than doing a formal test and doing all this paperwork and stuff, I'm just going to attack you all right now. And he does, and he attacks everyone in the room. Yoichi actually manages to resist without even realize he's resisting. He doesn't do anything, he's just looking around like, hey, wait, what? Why is everyone falling down? What's going on? You know, he resisted without even realizing he was resisting. That's how stable his heart is, or whatever. I guess that would be it. We learn he's not strong. His heart isn't strong, it's just stable. So I guess in order to survive, or not survive, in order to pull through this attack, you have to have a stable heart, not a strong one, but whatever. Yoichi manages to resist. Shinoa resists pretty easily too. She just stood there like, you know, she just took it, you know. She resisted easily, and Yu didn't have much trouble either. Like, he got flustered, but he didn't really seem like he was in pain. Kimizuki, he was in pain. He's like, oh, like he was in some legit pain. And Sayuri, I thought Sayuri was gonna get through it easily. She actually had some trouble. She's like, with all these like tags and crap. Like, I thought a pro like her would have gone through that easily, but apparently not. But after this test, we actually get a reminder about Shinoa. We always knew that her last name was Hiragi, but I completely forgot that was her name. We met Hiragi's last chapter towards the end. They're all like leaders and generals and all that crap in the army. They're all top dogs, top guys, and we get reminded that Shinoa is a Hiragi too. So she's probably got some pull. But, you know, that might come in later. I'm sure it will come in later, actually. There's no way she would be the author would make her a Hiragi and not have it be relevant later on. But Guren ends up, after Guren reminds us of Shinoa being a Hiragi, he says that Yu, Kimizuki, and Yoichi are able to test for the Black Demon series, because not only did they stay conscious, but they stayed on their feet as well. And this is where Sayuri comes in. She says, yeah, about that. I don't think Yoichi should be challenging Black Demon series demon. And I do not think that's a good idea. His heart is stable, especially when you compare it to people like you. He's obsessed with, he's the exact opposite of stable. He's all emotion. When it comes to vampires, he's not stable at all. And Kimizuki, he's not stable either, because everything's for his sister. He will get flustered too and emotional when it comes to her. He'll try to pretend to not be emotional, like during that test, but in reality, he's not he's more stable than you, that's for sure. But when compared to Yoichi, he's not as stable as him. And while Yoichi does have a more stable heart, his heart isn't strong. And Sayuri says that because his heart is not that strong, he'll end up being possessed. And so not only does Sayuri say he shouldn't go through with this, but Yu and Kimizuki, they end up saying that he shouldn't go through with it either. And Yuichi's pretty annoyed by this because he remembers how his sister also told him to just, hide and not do anything, just sit back and let her take care of everything when right before she died, and he just kind of gets annoyed by this, and he's just had enough. And he says, "No, I'm going to do this. Right? I'm going to challenge a Black Demon series demon, and I'm going to get that cursed gear, and I'm going to get strength so I can get revenge on the demons for what they did to my sister." So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty good moment for him. So he decides to go through with the ceremony, and then the four of them, Yu, Kimizuki, well, five, Yu, Kimizuki, Yoichi, Shinoa, and Guren, they go to the hall, I guess you could call it, where all the Black Demon series cursed gears are. And the ceremony starts. They all pick a weapon, and we only see Yu. We only see his experience with the demon, and at first the demon's trying to pull the same crap that the other demon did a couple chapters ago, but Yu isn't falling for it. And then he ends up getting attacked by a demon, though. It just pierces him through the stomach. They're in this vision-like environment, though. It's not real. He's not legitimately being pierced. It's just an illusion, pretty much. But I actually kind of was disappointed by this. Like, that was way too easy. The demon pierced him in the stomach, and he tried to get you to want to be alone, but that's it. After that, it just started to like you. Like, that was, it was kind of stupid, to be honest. These Black Demon series cursed gears have been hyped. They've been hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped, and it turns out it's not that big of a deal. All they did, it gave up so easily. It hit you once, and that was it. It was done. Like, okay, I like you. I'll give you my power. That was it. And it tried to get him to be alone, but he already wants to be alone. It's not like he wants to be around Shinoa. She just keeps following him around. He doesn't like Kimizuki, and this chapter he tried to push Yoichi away. And so he's already alone. He likes being alone. He likes doing things on his own. So that doesn't change anything. This demon, Asuramaru, or however you pronounce it, Ashuramaru. It's not very impressive. I'm sure it's strong since it's Black Demon series, but still, this process of getting a demon was not very impressive. Maybe it was just Asuramaru in particular, because we see at the end Yoichi gets possessed with that demon bow, which in reality, Yoichi's he's a main character. I don't think he's going to die. I don't think that Yu and Kimizuki are going to try and kill him. I think that the same thing that's been happening all series is going to keep happening. Yu is going to get into a situation where he has to do something he doesn't like, and he's going to be naive and stupid and do something else, and it's just going to work out in the end. He's going to disobey his orders like he always does, and everything's going to work out, and he's never going to learn from his mistakes, just like what always happens. So I think that Yoichi's going to be saved. But keep in mind, I didn't read Chapter 7. Chapter 7 was scanlated. This was the last chapter that I've read via scanlations. Chapter 7 was scanlated a few weeks ago, but or maybe like a month or two ago, but I never read it. So I figured from there on, I would just go weekly English Shonen Jump solely and not scanlations. But yeah. Oh, there's this one thing that Asuramaru says. He tells, I guess it's a he, an it. I guess it tells you that he's 1/10 not human. So I would assume that has something to do with Hyakuya Orphanage, or whatever they were called, labs, Hyakuya Labs, whatever. Because we learned in like Chapter 1, Chapter 2, something like that Hyakuya Labs was experimenting on all the kids that were there. So it probably has something to do with that. I don't think it's something like what Cruel Tepes did with you, or with Mika. I think it's just Hyakuya Labs specifically. Especially since Asuramaru mentioned humans, not vampires. But that's pretty much it for the chapter. I mean, there was development in the story because they got their cursed gears, but and Yoichi got possessed, but it wasn't really that interesting. So I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I mean, it just wasn't like it. It's mostly the disappointment from the whole Oscar Maru thing. It just the process just was not as good as I thought it'd be. It was just so easy. But I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. There was story development, but it wasn't really done well. But that's it for now, you guys. This chapter gets a 6.5 out of 10. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.